She's all purpley.
I am today.
Good morning, everyone. Look at those hairs. Oh, sexy.
That's right.
So,
Welcome
Victoria.
you guys
Oh
to
my
another
God.
exciting episode of Feel It Real Fun
Feel it real
on
fun.
our 27th of July,
That is the
2021.
rightness, they all said to me.
That's right.
So,
So go to freeneville.com,
221 email.
pseudo random goodness. Go check out easymanifesting.com. 7 free easy lessons. That
With
are
lots
really
of bells and
fun.
whistles.
Lots of bells and whistles. Join our 90-day adventure at manifestingmasterycourse.com.
You know why?
Why?
Because it takes like 15 to 25 minutes a day.
And what's it costing you, as Rob Begg would say,
Yeah, for not
to
doing
not
it.
do it?
Yeah, it's like $97 if you do. It's like $1 a day. So you'll notice Victoria and I are really good at a few things.
What?
Well, one is, Stella Jim sizzle, yo.
Yes. Oh, Sizzler, hello.
At the end of the day,
Yes.
you're going to have a pile of excuses or a pile of excellence. You don't get to have both. And I know someone's going to say, but Mr. 20, my Uncle Jim Buck.
Jim Buck.
Yeah, Jim Buck had them both. Well, good for fucking
Pile
Jim
of
Buck.
excuses and a pile of
Right?
what?
Excellence.
Oh, he had
Yeah,
two piles, one of each.
Yeah, I don't get it. But anyway, y'all,
Okay.
Galaxy, y'all.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
All right. So, Victoria, today we're going to talk about money deadlines. Money deadlines. We're going to talk about confidants.
Confidant.
And what else? What's the other thing? Oh, yeah. Counting cash. Counting cash. Counting cash. All right.
Right.
So, Victoria's going to read a email that we got. A couple other little bits of commentary we will both toss in. We will take alternating turns. And at the end, she'll sum it up with a Neville Goddard quote. That way no one can say, but Neville didn't teach that.
Okay, there you go. Hello, Brian.
Right. Anyway.
All right.
One of us is having
So,
fun.
a reader called Dev wrote to us and said...
Yo,
A
Dev.
reader called Dev wrote to us and said...
Yes, that's pretty good.
Dear Mr. 2020, well, I have no problem doing my Feel It Real sessions when they are far out in the future. I have no problems believing they will come true in the physical. But when I try to manifest something like money, for instance, to pay for school fees, which need to be manifested before a certain date,
Under
I
pressure.
feel pressured.
Under pressure.
How do I manifest money before a certain date?
Oh my God.
Thanks, regards, Dev in Manifesting Mastery.
Did you put the lamb on? Is the oven on? All right. And what time are we going to eat lunch?
12. I think it ended up going in 15 minutes late, so it might have been 12:45.
All right. Fair enough.
Deadline.
All
It's
right.
not really.
I'm glad we got that out of the way. So, Victoria,
Yeah.
let's do the next question, please.
Okay.
Dev will get back to you. Trust me, before the end of the show.
SB on Facebook sounds like Strawberry Bit, but it's not. SB asks, I want to be confident. What do I imagine?
Ooh, are you sure you want to be confident? Yes, I'm very confident that I want to be confident. That will be what solves my problem.
I want to be confident, though.
Right? So we're going to hold that one in mind. So we've got Dev and his
Deadlines.
Deadline
Dev and
Dev.
deadlines.
Deadline Dev. Right?
Confident that I'm confident
We got,
from SB.
I'm confident that confidence will fix it. Right? So, by the way, if you're not having fun, you're missing the whole point.
And we've got Counting Cash, Kathy.
Counting cash, Kathy.
Kathy says, I keep having wins, paying the rent, keeping my cell phone turned on, but I'm tired of feeling it real.
Oh. See, Kathy argues with me all the time. She goes, I just love the counting cash method. I'm like, all right. I get it, right?
All right, counting Kathy.
Yeah, Neville had a friend who counted cash to imply that she had a good day at work, right? She had she got the money she needed, right? But this lady was she had a cash business, right? She was a seamstress or a hooker or something. I don't remember.
Quite a difference.
Well, it all depends where you're, what you're seeming, right? How things seem, right?
Okay.
Right. Anyway,
Yes.
shaga, and and I get it, right? There was counting cash in that thing, right? But here's my question. So I always say, so counting cash, Kathy.
Counting Cash, Kathy.
If you were making great money while doing what you love, would you be counting cash? It's like, of course not. Like, all right. So get that you're imagining counting cash means that you still have to count cash. See, I used to count cash. Like, I lived in the Irwin, Pennsylvania. Right, Tony Doyle? Well, did I send that to you or not? I'll have to check and see, because I got something, either I sent it to you or I didn't. But anyway, so I used to live in the Irwin, Pennsylvania, and I was a part-time policeman for 3 different departments. I had a Chevy S10 pickup truck with barf carpet, no bumper, or radio, $180.25 a month for the payment. My car insurance started out really reasonable, like at $60 a month, but then I decided to crank. Anyway, not a good idea. Yeah, speeding tickets, that kind of thing. I was young. I was full of testosterone. And long story short, where was I going with all that? Oh yeah,
Counting cash, Kathy.
yeah. And so I'd have to go to the food land, right? And I'd go to the food land, and I would count my cash before I went in. And it's like, right, so I've got $27.13, and I used to carry a little notebook inside my head, and I'd keep track of how much shit was in the buggy. And sometimes I did it pretty well. But I'd always get after like the cute little 16-year-old girl that was working behind the counter, and she'd say, "Can I help you, sir?" And I'd, yeah. When we get up to 27.13, stop. Right? We don't buy anything else, right? Because I have to count cash. Now today, let's fast forward a whole bunch, right? Because so we go to the shops, right? We buy things, and every now and then I'll do the tappy thing, right? And it'll say, whatever, go declined. And I'm like, my name's not declined, right?
I always go straight to that's impossible.
Oh, I always go, like, yeah, see, she goes to, that's impossible. I go to, really? Right. So we're going to check the fingers, make sure we punch the right button in, or we're going to check the machine, right? Because when it happened at Dino's old place, it would always be doing like, oh, the machine, it's acting up. Well, they'll try again. And it was his machine. But every now and then the fingers will type the wrong number, right?
Exactly.
Because I know there's money in there. I'm always curious, how did I fuck it up so I got it declined, right? What's going on, right? So, what was the third bit there?
Counting cash, Kathy?
Counting cash, Kathy. Now, here's the thing. Ready? I want you to become infinitely curious, because here's the solution for all 3 of those. And you'll notice when we put together courses like DreamDrivenDay.com, the next one is the end of September, early October. If you went on the... what have we? My Chevy S10 was gray in color, gunmetal gray. So it was. So if fuck it. If you want in, let me know.
Got lost.
I got lost with that one, right? Yeah, I remember that car or the truck. Anyway, barf carpet. So it all comes back to the girls giggled, right? So you all heard about this, right? So there was the young buck, he's hanging out with his friends, and there's the couple good-looking girls, chickies standing over on the side, and you're sitting there doing their things, like playing with their hairs or whatever the fuck they do, you know how women's are. So, gunmetal gray. And so the young guys walking over, and young girls look at each other and do what?
Giggle.
They giggle, right? That's what girls do. And the young guy turns around, walks away, never touches, sniffs, dances with her, talks to another girl again, dies a 90-year-old virgin, right?
Dies 98 a virgin.
Right. And,
Right.
and the question is, why? And it was never the girls giggled. This is Lesson 1 ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. Lesson 1 is there for a reason, right? So, ready? So Dev is imagining something about deadlines, right? Probably not making them. See, for me, a deadline is just another date.
Yeah.
Right? I like dates. I like taking her out on dates. We don't go out much because we're still in lockdown here. Right? What we got to do
We
is...
have dates at home.
Yeah, so we have dates at home. Right?
Yeah.
So, but we still have dates.
Yeah.
Right? So a date is a date. When you start making a date a deadline and you start imagining, well, what if I don't have the money? I said, what if the girls are laughing at me? Oh, what if they keep laughing at me? What if they laugh at me once I take my clothes off? I mean, the poor young guy, like I said, died a virgin, right? You can't handle that. But the girls were giggling because they were happy. He added in, meaning that was less than useful, right? You got a date coming up and a bill. When is lunch?
12:45 or
Right.
something.
Lunch is at lunchtime, right? The show is at showtime. You'll notice we were 2 minutes late today. And we're 15 minutes late. We're 15 minutes late for lunch, right? By the way, in the grand scheme of things,
Does it really matter?
Does it really matter, right? If you imagine graduating from school, right? Obviously, the bills got paid along the way, or that didn't matter if you were a day or two late, right?
Yeah, I get that. So, like, yeah, so for Dev, manifesting the money, that's what she's imagining. For SB, what are they imagining? To be confident.
No, here's the confident thing, right? So if the young buck was confident and the girl's giggling, he goes, I'm confident they're giggling at me, right? He was confident they were giggling at him,
Got you.
right? Now he could be confident I'm going to still talk to them even though those bitches are laughing at me, right? Again, confidence is just one of those weird ass things. I mean, like we all know assholes that are confident.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, infinitely curious. Okay, I'm infinitely curious. What are you doing after you graduate? I'm infinitely curious. How did all those bills get paid? I'm infinitely curious what life is like once you double your income and work half the time. Who do you get to become? Because once you double your income, work half the time, double your income, work half the time again, and you go shopping and the machine makes the wrong beep noise and it says declined, and you say, that's not my name. Right? I'm infinitely curious. Right?
Not my name.
Yeah, is your machine fucked up, or did I put in the wrong numbers? Right?
Excuse me. Yeah.
Right? I'm curious. And this whole thing with being infinitely curious, I mean, it takes care of so much. I mean, who do you get to become when the end of the month isn't a deadline again? When you're not manifest, and this stuff does get tiring, because if it's like, oh my god, I got another traumatic event coming up, it's called rent due the first of the month. I got another traumatic event coming up, it's called mobile phone bill.
Exactly, for counting cash, Kathy. Yeah, got you.
So we just drop all those things. Yo, Jess, triple D, yo. So you drop all that, you get infinitely curious. Who do you get to be if you double your income and work half the time? Who do you get to be if you're making great money while doing what you love? Who do you get to be?
Yep. So, do we want to hear what Neville has to say as well? Or?
Yeah, let's do some Neville too.
So, today's Neville quote: everyone lives in a definite state of consciousness, which state of consciousness we have already described as the sum total of his reactions to life. Therefore, in defining an aim, you are defining a state of consciousness, which, like all states of consciousness, must have its reactions to life.
And the big gold is right here.
For example, if a rumour or an idle remark could cause an anxious reaction in one person and no reaction in another, this is positive proof that the two people are living in two different states of consciousness.
Alright, so they're going to change the whole like loogie law tonight in Australia.
They are.
Right?
11:59 p.m.
So most of you don't live in the state of Victoria,
No.
right? Not her,
No.
but the physical geographical thing, right?
Yeah.
A state is just like that. I bet you everybody watching this today, because I don't see anybody local here, nobody gives a shit. Yay, things change at 11:59 tonight.
Yeah.
Who cares, right? For us, for the most part, except for the fact I want to go back to the pool, who cares, right? At the end of the day. And so your state of consciousness, who you are being in the world. Yeah, I keep saying, my whole approach with this currently is a state is how you experience what you experience. How do you experience Friday? How do you experience lunchtime? How do you experience, money's due. For the rest of your life, I can promise you something, right? Until you're dead. And I can tell you one thing. I've been the executor on estates before, right? After Bob dies, if I'm the executor of his will, there's still deadlines for money. Like even after you're gone, right? People still want money at deadlines. But you know what? Who cares? Right? When you don't have that extra level of meaning and you're going to be living on the street and counting cash with Kathy. I mean, imagine that. I'm confident I'm going to be counting cash with Kathy. So, Victoria, I'll shut up now.
Okay.
Yo, Evelyn.
Hello, Amber. So what we want to know
Oreo
is what
cookie.
was your hashtag strawberry bit?
Victoria, what was your hashtag?
That
Strawberry
last bit of Neville's quote, and that's ace, how if one person can have a reaction to something said or whatever it is and another one doesn't.
It really does go to show.
Really does go to show, yeah, exactly, that there are different states of consciousness and then living in different states of consciousness. One other thing I found fascinating, because right then I said living in different states of consciousness. What was it you said for counting cash?
Kathy.
Cathy, about
Oh,
living in.
making
Oh,
great money
you.
while doing what you love.
But you said living in, and it was like, oh, oh, it doesn't matter now. I lost it now. But it was fascinating how we often use that as a terminology for living, not living in the end with Neville, but in um, maybe with our occupation or something, living in or something. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, nice.
And it's like, oh, wow. And it really is that. So what are you living in? Where are you living in?
Where do you occupy?
Yeah.
Think about words. Again, words don't have power, but I find them fascinating. Like, so what's your occupation, right? We had to talk to the new accountant yesterday, and she's like, "What do you do?" And I did my best to explain it. And she goes, "Oh, so you do this and this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's my occupation, right?" But what's your dwelling place? It's where you occupy, right? It comes down to that.
How about you, Babs? What was your strawberry birds?
I like how it really all comes down to that whole thing. ManifestingMasteryCourse.com lesson 1. There they go. Right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why we design courses the way we do. Because it's like, oh, I could use the tools. How do I get the money? How do you do it? Now, go back to lesson 1. Notice you're adding meaning to a date. Right? Notice you're adding meaning to confidence is all about adding a weird ass meaning. Again, I'm not a fan of confidence. I am not at all. And yeah, I keep noticing. Right? I've mentioned this in the podcast today. Triple D people that really play are always perceived as confident. Yeah, they're not. They're curious. They know who they are, how this works, and they're playing heaps. And so they're perceived as confident. But I notice the most stuck people that email me, they're very confident that SATS is hard. They're very confident this is complicated. They're very confident that you're wrong, Mr. 20. Everyone is me all pushed out, and you don't exist. They're very confident. Oh, they're very confident. I want them to be curious, like little kids, little children. Be as little children. Be like me. I just wonder, when is Victoria coming? I'm confident she's coming. I'm curious she'll get here sooner or later. I wonder when.
Oh.
All right.
So,
look at that show share, Jess. Boom.
Oh, good on you, Jess. So while you type in your strawberry bits, go to
Yes.
freeneville.com.
221 email pseudo.
Random goodness. Join our 90-day adventure at manifestingmasterycourse.com.
It's seriously, think about this. It's $1 a day. Are you curious enough to spend $1 a day? Let's just say, toss $1 a day out the window, right? Are you curious, like, how that could actually impact your life? Or I'm confident all he wants is money. Right? I'm confident that it won't work either. I'm confident that I'm going to be confused after every single lesson. All right.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com. Got lost there.
That's all right. I'm confident you got lost.
Oh, no.
Boom.
Cool, excellent.
All righty, guys.
All right, you guys.
Let's have a lovely day today, Victoria.
We will. We'll have a wonderful
Oh my God,
one.
you guys wait till you see lunch, because lunch today is going to be